Hi guys, and welcome to making a table for a function and then identifying the range of a function. Here we're going to talk a little bit about both domain and range and about just kind of functions and how they work. Right now we're only talking about linear functions. When you see these directions, when it tells you to make a table for a function and then identify the range of the function, one of the first things that you should notice is that there are two parts to this question. It isn't just asking you for one thing, it's asking you for two. So when you think you're done, go back and read the directions again and just make sure you've done everything it asks. The other thing you should notice is that it tells you right here, it gives you the absolute first direction for what it is you should do. It says to make a table. There's no table here. So the very first thing that you should do is actually make a table. All right, literally just make a table. And you know that this table is always going to be an X and Y table, and so you're going to go ahead and put those in there. So X usually goes on top, and Y usually goes on the bottom. So we'll go ahead and put those there. So we have an X here, maybe. There we go. We have an X here, and a Y right here. All right, and then we look at what is the information that they give us. So they give us this function, y equals 2x plus 4, which is very useful, but nothing we can put into the table yet. And then they give us the domain. So the domain is the x values. We could talk about the domain and the range, and one way to remember which goes with which thing is that they're both in alphabetical order. D comes before R, X comes before Y. So the first thing we're going to do is put our domain into the table. So for our x values, we're going to have 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now for our y, what we're going to do is we're going to plug in each x value and find the corresponding y value. Let's do our calculations off to the side here. So the first x value we're going to plug in is this 0 right here. So we're going to write down y equals 2, and then instead of an x, we're going to write a times 0. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in another color here so that you can see that this is really what's going to be changing each time we do another one of these problems. And then we have the plus 4. Okay, so now we just simplify this. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 4. We have a plus 4, so we get y equals 0 plus 4. And then finally, y equals 4. So we're going to go ahead and put a 4 corresponding to that 0 there for the x. We've got that 4 for the y. Now we just do the exact same thing with the rest of our values, okay? So same exact thing. We're going to go back to our original equation, but instead of plugging in a 0 for x, we're going to plug in our next value, which is a 1. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We've got y equals 2, all right, and then times x. Well, now x is 1. So y equals 2 times 1. And then we keep the rest of it the same, plus 4. Alright, and so now we simplify again. We get that y equals 2 times 1, which is 2, plus 4. And 2 plus 4 is, of course, 6. So we have y equals 6. Alright, for time's sake, we're not going to plug in the rest of them right now. So you would do the same thing. You would do all these calculations out again. So you would plug in 2 and then you'd plug in 3. But for now, we'll just go ahead and fill these in. So the next one would be 8 and the last one would be 10. Okay, so we've just made a table, fantastic, and we want to make sure that we're done with the problem, so we go back and read the directions again. It says to make a table for the function, then identify the range of the function. Well, we've done that first part, we've made our table, but we have not yet identified the range. So that's the last thing that we need to do here. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to tell what the range is. So we're going to say that the range is our y values, which are 4, 6, 8, and 10. And now we've fulfilled both parts of the question and we're done.